welcome back. In the previous class, I have started the basic variational problem. And why we have introduced this class of problem? Because we are trying to understand the application of the fundamental theorem of the calculus of variation. And once we become comfortable with the basic variational problem, then obviously we will move towards the optimal control problem, because exactly same kind of formulation we are going to see whenever real control problem basically comes into picture. So it is better that first you become comfortable with the basic variational problem, and after that you can move towards the optimal control problem. What we have seen in the previous class, that I have very simple variational problem, that a starting point as well as the end point. So a starting state or end state of the system is fixed and time is also specified. So this is simplest one, and after that, with help of fundamental lemma as well as fundamental theorem of calculus of variation, we are going to identify the trajectory which is going to minimize some kind of, or extremize, you can tell extremize, because we are talking about maxima or minima both, and due to that reason we are talking about the extremum. So we are extremizing some kind of functional, and we have seen that whenever we are talking about functional, that is the basically primitive element of the calculus of variation that map some function to some kind of real number. So in previous class I have written same problem. So I have this x is some kind of trajectory and which belongs to some class omega, and we have already assumed that omega contain those kind of function which is continuously differentiable, and after that I have to find x star such that this functional or performance measure, whenever control problem will come into picture, at that time we are defining same thing, or we are giving some different name to same quantity jx, and that as a performance measure. But for time being I am telling this as a functional, because I am just talking about some kind of mathematical problem that is related to the calculus of variation. So I have to find x star such that this functional has an extremum, and what we have observed that from fundamental lemma, fundamental theorem of calculus of variation, after applying fundamental lemma, that finally I have to just solve this Euler-Lagrange equation. So if we solve this Euler-Lagrange equation, this is somehow second order differential equation. This is also time varying. You can see here time is explicitly present here, and also this is non-linear in nature. So if you solve this kind of differential equation, whatever the solution, that solution is particularly going to extremize this kind of functional. So we have already seen that. Now in today's lecture I am going to become little more flexible, and what I am going to do, I am going to relax some condition, and due to that reason I have given some name to this class of problem, that is called type 2 problem. So what I am assuming, that final time is specified but now state is free. So in first problem, I am assuming that initial time as well as final time is known to me. Initial state as well as final state is known to me. Now what I am assuming that initial time and state at the initial time is known to me, but final time is known to me, but final state, that is free. So that kind of assumption, and believing on that assumption, now I am going to formulate the problem. Again, I have to find the necessary condition for a function to be extremal for the functional, and functional I have again defined in the exactly same way, and I have already told you that t0 and xt0 and tf are specified, means this is given to me, xt0 is given to me, but xtf is free. So again I have to find the necessary condition. So in type 1 problem, when both are fixed, means time are fixed, state are fixed, then necessary condition particularly land up to the Euler-Lagrange equation. Now let us try to see that what kind of different variation basically comes into picture whenever we are relaxing constraint on the state, final state. We are telling xtf is free, and due to that reason I am telling I have relaxed it. And if you see the admissible curve, so when things are fixed, then all curve which is originating from here, that is going to converge to the same point, but here now I have flexibility. So now since xtf is not fixed, just I have to take care about the time, but this particular final position might be anything. So due to that reason I am telling that xtf, that is free. So this kind of situation I have, and I have to just find those kind of curve, that is called admissible curve, which satisfy this kind of criteria. Now again I am going to proceed using the fundamental lemma of calculus of variation, because we know that whenever we are talking about the necessary condition for extremal, then I have to talk about the increment, and from increment I have to collect the variation, and after that I have to substitute variation equal to 0. And variation equal to 0 basically provide the function that particularly going to extremize that particular or chosen functional or performance measure whenever we are talking about the control problem. So let us proceed in the same way. So what I am going to do, that I am going to define the increment jx plus delta x minus jx. Again I am assuming that since xt belongs to some class omega and omega is continuously differentiable, we are assuming that x plus delta x also belongs to the same class. Under that assumption, and after that I have told you that whenever we are formulating or whenever we are specifying the functional, at that time I have to also assume that partial derivative of g exists with respect to all argument. So same kind of assumption. So this step is exactly similar as the previous class. So due to that reason I am not going to talk much about this. I am just writing this x plus delta x, and after that what I am going to do, that I am going to collect all integral together, and I am going to apply the Taylor series expansion. So, and Taylor series expansion about xt, x star t I am going to do, and after that what happens, that I will get this kind of series. Here this part in previous class, if you remember, then this is nothing but the first variation, and we are specifying first variation by delta j, and after that this second variation will come, and after that I have higher order term, and after that I have this particularly quantity is coming from here, from the gx, and in order to apply the fundamental lemma, a fundamental theorem of calculus of variation, I have to collect the first variation. And we have always also seen that in order to talk about the sufficient condition, we are also we are collecting the second variation. But for time being, I have to just find those kind of function which is going to extremize that particular functional, and due to that reason there is no need to worry about the second variation. Just we are going to limit our discussion on the first variation. So what I am going to do, I am going to collect the first variation, and I have told you that in previous class that if you know delta xt, then it is possible to calculate delta x dot t, or if you know the delta x t dot and initial condition of delta x t0, then it is possible to again recover the delta xt from delta x dot t, and due to that reason I am going to express this whole term inside this integral in terms of delta xt only. And for that also we have used in previous class same kind of logic. We are going to use the idea of integral by parts, and by using idea of integral by parts, and after that combining some kind of integral, we are going to end up to this term. So this calculation is exactly same like previous class, and here you can see that if you assume this particular quantity as a u, this as a v, and after that if you apply, then this kind of things comes into picture, and after that I have this kind of integral. And what we have observed in the previous class, that particularly this integral, this first integral, that equal to 0, because I know the delta xt0 and delta xtf. So variation of these two quantity at the end point, that is 0. So finally what happens, that this whole integral is going to vanish if we are considering the case of the previous class. But in today's lecture I cannot assume this, because now xtf is free, and due to that reason I cannot assume that this particular integral equal to 0, and this part exactly remains like the previous one. Now here same kind of things I have written, that delta xt0 equal to 0, because this point is not flexible. I have already fixed the starting point, and due to that reason variation of this point equal to 0 for all admissible curve, but this particular quantity is free. Since this particular quantity I have actually kept free, and due to that reason what happens, that now I have to modify the condition, and what I am further remark is like that for any extremal x star, we know that delta j means first variation must be 0, and this is result from fundamental theorem of calculus of variation. Now you try to see one more observation. So I know the t0 to tf, so integral remains from t0 to tf, and now I have different possible choice. It might possible trajectory like this is also the means fall in same class, this trajectory also fall in this same class. So lot of possibility I have, but just try to see this black trajectory. So if I fix this trajectory, then I can interpret same problem like this, that I have fixed time, initial time at fixed state, and at this particular point you can see that I have XTF and TF. So this particular thing, suppose that even if I have provided the flexibility on this, but once I fix this particular thing XTF, then whatever solution we are going to give this flexible case, this solution should be satisfied. And based on that observation, I have written like this: an extremal for a free endpoint problem is also a extremal for a fixed endpoint problem. So this is free, but it might possible that I can interpret, or you can also assume like this, that suppose this particular curve is going to extremize the functional, and now this is going to extremize, so I can interpret this particular curve as, after fixing it, that this particular curve has initial endpoint that is fixed or final point that is also fixed. Due to that reason, in a special case, that result should be valid. So from that observation, basically we are going to proceed further. So an extremal for a free endpoint problem is also an extremal for the fixed endpoint with same endpoints, and functional, what we have observed, that is also same. Integral is also from T0 to TF, because I am telling that T0 and TF is specified, means in time is specified, thus regardless of the boundary condition. So if we forget about the boundary condition, this equation, Euler-Lagrange equation, must be satisfied. So now in this problem, just I have to add some kind of extra boundary condition, because boundary condition in second side at time TF, that is flexible. But since if we are talking about the free endpoint problem, so in a special case, after fixing that curve, also that is, one can interpret that as a fixed endpoint problem. Due to that reason, Euler equation must be satisfied. It means that in order to solve this problem, after applying the fundamental theorem of calculus of variation, now one condition that is obvious, that this should be satisfied. And we know that this, in order to extremize that functional, first variation equal to 0. So first condition is like this. Second condition, that is coming from the special case, and by seeing these two conditions, so once you find any optimal curve or any curve that is going to extremize that particular functional, then this condition should be hold, because after finalizing that curve, again this flexible endpoint problem is particularly converted into fixed endpoint problem, and due to that reason this should hold. But here, since I do not know what is the final condition, but initial variation equal to 0, and from this integral, now try to see that this particular integral at t0, at the starting time, there is no flexibility on delta x t0, so variation equal to 0, but I have flexibility at tf, and due to that reason delta x tf comes into picture, and that should be 0. Otherwise what happens, that I cannot claim delta j x delta equal to 0. So what happens, first I have specified the problem, and after that I am seeing the particular case, and based on particular case I am telling that in order to force first variation equal to 0, this equation, that is nothing but Euler equation, that should be 0, and after that whatever boundary condition at TF, that should be 0. And due to that reason I am telling that we have two different boundary condition whenever endpoint is not fixed. So endpoint is fixed, then just you have to solve the Euler-Lagrange equation. But if end point is not fixed, then you have to solve additional partial differential equation, that is dou g by dou x dot, that is directly coming from the first variation, that equal to 0. And now since xtf is free, so delta xtf is arbitrary, therefore it is necessary that this should be 0, and this is the second required boundary condition, because what we have observed that whenever we are formulating the necessary condition for extremum, at that time we have to solve this equation. This equation is nothing but Euler-Lagrange equation, and this is second order differential equation. And in order to solve second order differential equation, you all are already knowing that two boundary conditions are required. So one boundary condition I can get easily, because first point initial time t0 and t0 is given. Now how to find the second boundary condition? So what is beauty of second boundary condition? Tf is specified. Now in order to fix something, second boundary condition means other point of boundary condition. Now that boundary condition is coming from the solution of this particular partial differential equation, dou g by dou x dot, and this is also called natural boundary condition, because naturally by first generalizing the problem, and after that once we know that, we assume that this is the extremal solution, then that is also satisfy the property of fixed end state or fixed end time problem, and due to that reason whatever extra condition that comes into picture, that is natural one, and due to that reason people are telling this boundary condition as a natural boundary condition. So we have two different boundary condition, one that is specified inside the problem because initial time and initial state xt0 is given, and from analysis we are getting the natural boundary condition, and in order to get natural boundary condition we have to solve this particular partial differential equation. So now let us come to the one numerical exercise, and after that try to see that how basically we are applying the result, whatever result we have seen till now. So I am again going to select same problem, whatever problem we have taken in previous class, and but here I have little bit flexibility. What I am assuming that determine the smooth curve of a smallest length connecting the point x0 equal to 1 to line t equal to 5. It means that now you can see here that I am assuming this axis as a t, this axis as a xt. Now I am going to start from t equal to 0, because here this is t equal to 0, and after that now I have time that t equal to 5. So now I have to find some kind of length that is connected from here to here, and that should be smallest. So somehow I have to find the extremal length, or in here extremal means I have to find the minimal length. So how to proceed towards this problem? Here you can see that again I have several possibility. I have this kind of possibility. So we have already understood that whenever I have to solve length problem, at that time this kind of functional comes into picture. In previous class we have seen that because I have to extremize the length of curve, then I have to see the length of curve, and after that we have to apply Pythagoras theorem, and after that we have to collect. So if you have any confusion, then please again check the previous lecture, and after that this quantity is nothing but gxt, xt explicit xt is not present, t is not present, so this is the gxt. Now what you have to do, you have to apply the Euler equation, that is dou g by dou x minus dou g by dou and x dot, and in order to apply, before that we have to apply d by dt with negative sign, that should equal to 0. So after solving this, it is possible to show that this is nothing but this, and this is 0 when x dot star equal to 0. So x star, that we are telling that that kind of function which is going to extremize the functional or performance measure jx. Now if you solve this equation x dot t, then solution is like this. I have some kind of constant. Basically here, if you see it carefully, then I have d by, again I have d by dt, d by dt equal to this. So basically I have x dot equal to not 0, d by dt x dot, so x double dot equal to 0, and due to that reason I have solution like this, means x star equal to c1, or you can also write like this, x dot t star, that is equal to constant, and that constant is c1. So like that also you can interpret. After that, now since I know the initial time t equal to 0, this is 1, so I can able to identify the first constant c2, and after that, in order to identify the c1, I have to go via natural boundary condition, and we have already seen that in this part, using partial differential equation, we are going to specify the natural boundary condition, that is dou g by dou x dot x star tf x dot star tf comma t, and if you means solve this partial differential equation and substitute that equal to 0, then I have this kind of condition. Again, this is x star 5 equal to 0, and we know that x star t from the first by solving the Euler-Lagrange equation, this is given like this, c1 t1 plus c2. So I am going to differentiate it. After differentiating, I have x dot star t equal to c1, and if you put t equal to 5, then that is equal to 0. Due to that reason, c1 equal to 0, and due to that reason, what I am telling that a straight line parallel to t, so x star t is a straight line that is parallel to the t axis, and from the figure also you are able to understand that what is minimum length between this point to this point. So minimum length is nothing but parallel to the x-axis means this particular quantity, but x0 equal to 1 we are assuming. It means that I am basically here x0 equal to 1. So actually whatever plot I have plotted, that is for x0 equal to 0. So I have to plot x0 equal to 1. It means that plot is going to start from here. So basically this particular line is going to extremize the curve. So please update this particular plot. Now I am going to take another functional, and here you can see that this particular functional where g, x and x dot both are involved, t is again explicitly not present. Again I have to solve the Euler equation, and after solving the Euler equation I will get this kind of second order differential equation. So I have second order differential equation, and in lucky case this differential equation is linear, and due to linearity I can assume that okay, this form of solution I have. I hope that you all are already well aware that whenever you have differential equation, then how to solve this kind of differential equation. So I have somehow d square plus 4 equal to 0. So d is plus minus 2, and after that we are putting that kind of coefficient here. If you remember the method, one of the method of solving this kind of differential equation, and after that what I am going to, I have to calculate c1 and c2, and c1 and c2 is basically coming from the boundary condition. So x0 equal to 1, this one boundary condition, second is natural boundary condition, and after solving the natural boundary condition, I am able to find this kind of things, and after that I have to just at t equal to 2 I have to find this kind of equation, and from boundary condition this I have this kind of equation. So now story is over, just c1 is given like this, c2 is given like this. So in this way I am able to find those kind of curve which is going to extremize the function. So till now what we have seen that my endpoint, so out of two endpoint, first endpoint as well as end state is specified, but final end time is specified, but end state is not specified. Now suppose second class of problem, that now end state and end time is specified, but initial time is specified, but initial state is not specified. So this kind of problem is very common, that what happens that suppose you have certain kind of system and you want to move your system from t equal to 0 to suppose sometime t equal to 5, and you know that where you have to move. So basically final time and final position is known to you. In control problem particularly I am talking. So okay, I will explain this problem using some kind of block diagram, then things become more transparent or more clear. So suppose I am going to take very simple problem. I have certain kind of car, and most of time what happens that okay, I have started this car at equal to t equal to 5 seconds, and I want to travel here in t equal to 10 seconds. So I have started my clock at 5 seconds and I am going to move at t equal to 10 seconds. I know exactly where I have to move. So I know the XTF. So suppose that I do not know initially where I am. So I do not know XT0, but at least I know the XTF. So this class of problem is called unspecified boundary condition at initial time. And in order to solve this kind of problem, again one can use same kind of methodology. So it is very easy to guess that first particular condition is again Euler-Lagrange equation, and second one in place of the natural boundary condition. And in natural boundary condition, if you remember, then basically I am putting TF. Now I have to just put T0 there. So here everything remains the same, dou G by dou X dot. Here X star T0 is coming, X dot T0 is coming, and T is coming. So in this way I can able to solve the problem. Most of time whenever we are starting our system, at that time we are not knowing what is the initial condition. Sometimes so I have some kind of free means or unspecified initial condition, but I know where I have to move. So suppose that if system is suppose I have just I am going to take some kind of problem. We have only one sensor, and suppose that I have some method to measure the velocity of car, but I do not know how to measure the position, or I do not have some kind of arrangement which is going to measure the position. Then again similar kind of problem comes into picture. So similar way one can able to solve the problem whatever I have discussed in today's lecture. So now I am going to conclude the session. So in today's lecture basically I have discussed about again the very simple variational problem. I am assuming that a starting point and a starting state of the system is given, but final time is given, but final state is free, flexible. Then how to find some kind of function which is going to extremize some kind of functional, and we have to find the necessary condition. And what we have seen that necessary condition is nothing but some kind of Euler-Lagrange equation. After that, I have some more boundary condition that is coming. One is already provided to us. Another boundary condition is coming from the solution of some kind of partial differential equation, and that is called natural boundary condition. In next class, we are going to see the case that suppose now that initial time and initial state is given to me, but and final position is also given, but final time is not given. You can see that that problem is not so easy, because now integration from t0 to tf, that now going to change. So how to again find the necessary condition? So that is basically again basic variational problem. And similarly, we are going to generalize the problem by actually removing some kind of constraint, and after that we are going to see that what kind of basically equation basically comes into picture. And once we will understand this class of problem, then we finally land up to the optimal control problem. So thank you very much.